Someone quoted you for an AI chatbot, maybe it was 4,000 or maybe it was 40, and you had no way of knowing whether it was a fair price because nobody has ever shown you what is actually inside one. There are 7 layers in a real AI system. I am going to show you all 7, what each one costs, and how each one breaks. So next time somebody quotes you, you can tell whether they are building a system or selling you a window. Picture what you think you're buying: a box on a website. Someone types, it types back. That layer is one of 7. It's also the only layer most vendors can describe. So let's name all 7 now before we go anywhere. You have the channel, the trigger, memory, model, tools, action, and the guardrail. 6 of those are invisible to the customer, and those 6 are where all the money and the risk actually sit. Layer 1 is the channel. This is where messages physically arrive: WhatsApp, web chat, email, a form, a phone call. Here's the commercial point, and it's an easy one to miss. The channel is chosen by your customer, not by you. If they live on WhatsApp and you built a web chat for them, the system is already feeling before it said a word. In Ghana especially, that's not a footnote. WhatsApp is the default channel here, not the alternative one. Each channel also carries its own rules and its own per conversation cost. We'll come back to that properly in the cost section. Layer 2 is the trigger, and this is the term everyone nods along to and nobody actually has explained. Your webhook is a phone number for a software. You hand another system a URL. The moment something happens on their side, they call it and hands over the details. The alternative is polling, asking every minute whether anything has changed, which is slower and you have to pay for every question. That difference between webhook and polling is precisely why a reply can go out in 4 seconds instead of 4 minutes. Layer 3 is the memory, and here's the problem it solves. Message 1: I want to book an appointment. Message 2: Tuesday at 3 p.m. Without memory, message 2 means nothing to the system. It asks the same question again, and the customer concludes it's broken. And honestly, they're right. Under the hood, this is 2 stores doing 2 different jobs. A fast one holding live conversation context, usually expiring after 24 hours, and a database holding a durable history for reporting and for disputes later. Here's a line worth remembering: most AI chatbot failures are memory failures, not intelligence failures. Layer 4 is the model. This is where Claude sits, and it's 1 layer out of 7, not the whole thing. What it does: it reads the message as a whole and works out the intent rather than matching keywords or forcing customers down a button path. What it does not do though is touch your calendar, write your CRM, or send anything that needs the next 2 layers. Let's be honest about this one. The model is the part everyone talks about and is the part least likely to be a problem. Layer 5 is the tools. This is where MCP comes in. The old way of doing everything was every tool needs to be its own bespoke integration with its own authentication, handling, and its own parsing. That's where budgets used to disappear. MCP, which is Model Context Protocol, was published by Anthropic in 2024 and became a standard for every major AI platform in 2026. Think of it as a USB-C for AI, one connection instead of a different adapter for every device. MCP exposes 3 things. Tools are executable functions the model can call. Resources are read-only data it can consult. Prompts are templates that keep behavior consistent. Tools give the model hands, resources give it eyes, and prompts give it manners. Layer 6 is action. This is the layer that actually separates the system from a chat window. It writes, it books, it files, it replies, it updates. Every one of those is a real integration with real credentials, real rate limit, and real failure mode. So here's the honest framing to apply when someone is quoting you. If a vendor can't tell you which system gets written to, what permissions, they haven't built this layer. They've built the first 5 and stopped. Layer 7 is the guardrails, and this is where a CFO's instinct actually matters. Confidence thresholds. The agent has to recognize when it does not know and stop rather than guess. Clean escalations. The handoff carries full context and happens before the customer even notices something went wrong. Retries and fallbacks. So a third-party outage degrades the service rather than ending it. And logging. Every tool, invocation, timestamped, argument stripped of personal data. If you can't audit it, you can't fix it. Now the part that should generally worry you. Tool poisoning is malicious instructions hidden inside the tool's own description. The tool doesn't even have to be called. Loading it into context is enough. In controlled testing, these attacks succeeded around 84% of the time when auto-approval was switched on. So here's the question to ask before you sign anything. Which tool calls run without a human approving them? Ask it before you sign, not after something goes wrong. Let's work the cost table properly. Channel scales with volume. Model tokens are the silent line item. Nobody watches them until the invoices arrive. Memory is small and flat. Tools hit a wall suddenly, not gradually. And guardrails are the cheapest layer to build and the costliest to skip. Here's the reframe I would push you toward. Stop asking what it costs per month. Ask what it costs per conversation. A monthly figure with no unit attached isn't a price, it's a guess. So 7 layers: channel, trigger, memory, model, tools, action, and guardrail. If the person selling to you can describe all 7, they've built one before. If they can only describe the first one, you're being sold a demo. And demos are very cheap to build and very expensive to own. If you want us to look at your own setup, the first 30 minutes are free. And it will tell you honestly if there's nothing worth building.